Oh, we are back for Rage Trade Mondays. I am joined to my right by Verns. How are you, mate?
Mate, I am great. It was an awesome week of footy, massive scores, super enjoyable. Yourself?
I'm yeah, I'm good. I'm good. But I just want to preface this by saying happy birthday to Joshy. It's his birthday today. I hope you had a wonderful day. How are you, mate?
I'm good. I'm good. Coming off a good score. I felt a lot worse last week after my shocking score and big rankings drop. But I'll say I'm good until I saw the Chera news, which is an absolute joke. There's already heaps of comments saying Carlton will appeal, Carlton will appeal. Absolutely, they will. And I'd be shocked if he doesn't get off because what the hell was that?
Yeah, we'll get to that a little bit soon. Well, we'll get to it shortly. Like as you said, the comments are going bananas. And I feel sick because I defended a Carlton player for the first time in my entire being on this planet, which is insane. But I just want to clear things up, mate. It's not actually your birthday, is it?
It's absolutely not.
No, it's a good friend of the channel that always drops in for Talk Back with DR. It's actually Scoops. He runs the biggest Facebook page regarding SuperCoach. He's won the weekly. I don't think any of us have won the weekly. He's a superstar. Go and check out his home cricket videos. Absolute walking legend down in Lara. Superstar of the SuperCoach community. And happy birthday to you, mate. Well, by the looks of things, I scored the least out of all of us. So I'm just going to kick it off. I scored a 2,480, moved into the top 7,000 just. So not fantastic, but not disgusting. Verns, I believe you scored the second highest out of all of us. What did you achieve and where are you ranked, mate?
Yeah, got a 25.63. Gorn VC. I think we're all on that hype train.
Yep.
So yeah, that put me to also just inside the top 7,000, just slightly in front of you Scobes.
Killing it, mate. Killing it, mate. And we'll move on quickly. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Joshy, you absolutely slaughtered it this week. I'm fairly sure you obviously VC'd Gorn, but you had some very nice scoring players. I think Brayshaw off the top of my head. I don't think, no, you don't own Whitfield. I can't remember who else it was, but what did you score, mate? Because it was massive.
Yeah, and I needed it because the week before I had so many primos going sub 100. Sinclair's Orco 70s, ranking 80 something, and there was quite a few others that just copped the trainer 2, copped the Lindsay 48. It was a disaster of a round, but 2602 this week, so a big bounce back. Back into the top 500. Currently sitting at 479, but yeah, some really big bounce back scores. Like obviously. Sinclair and Zorko still didn't do them. Brayshaw 157, Lockie Neal 139. I was expecting a big Windhager tag. DeConning 135, Gorn 174, Rankin, Petrarca, Smith all went 120 plus. So yeah, it was a good round.
Nah, awesome, mate. So it sounds like obviously you both of you, especially you, Joshy, went extremely large, but I don't think we've actually had any shocker weeks yet, touch wood, which I guess is.
Oh, no, I definitely did last week. Last week I felt like 1,000 spots. Last week I scored 2079. I had a shocker.
Yeah, but you say that you fell a lot of ranks. That's because you were ranked so highly, was it not?
Yeah, but I think it was like a round rank of like 60,000 or something. Like it was a real rutter of a score.
Yeah, I actually had the same score of Joshy last week myself and dropped like 6K ranks as well. It sucked.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I missed the chance to rub it into both of you, but yeah, no, we'll move on. What we're here for, Rage Trade Mondays, we go through the top 5 most traded out players, the top 5 most traded in players, and if we're for or against it. Starting off with a certain Richmond mid-forward at number 5 for the most traded out players. Traded out by 5% of his owners. 4,706 coaches have traded out Sammy Layla. I think I'm not going to have an issue with any of these players being traded out at all. So I'm fine with Layla going. Like Verns, what's your thoughts on him? He's got, I think it's a break even of 67 from memory. 67. Are you happy to hold Sammy Layla? Are you wanting to ditch him? Like, do you firstly?
Look, it's a perfect time for him to go. It's sort of getting to that point of the season where a lot of the rookies that haven't been stuck as a sub or stuck getting 20s each week, they're finally fattened up, and they actually are at the point where like a poor score can put them in a position where they can start losing money quickly. So it's a perfect time for him to go.
Yep. Yeah, I think we'll generally agree on most of these. Joshy, Sammy Layla, hold, go. If you own him, what's the plans?
Yeah, well, the break even lining up with the average is usually when you get rid of these blokes. So I think cash him in at that 310K. The only thing I will say is he's got that mid forward DPP, and with West Coast and North Melbourne after this round, maybe he's in for a couple more spike scores to come. But I think people are cashing in rookies this week, and I think it's more than fine.
If he gets you a premium, it's definitely a yes. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll probably talk about Levi Ashcroft later, but he's getting me a premium. I'd rather keep him, but if it gets you a premium, I think you do it.
Geez, that is a fantastic segue to the fourth most traded out player, and that's Levi Ashcroft. Oh, the connection here is wonderful. 5,326 coaches who own him, which is 5.6% of all coaches, have decided to ditch Levi Ashcroft. I personally am also, purely based on the fact that it's going to get me a premium. Is that the fair consensus, Joshy? I know your stance, like you literally just said it. Verns, what are you thinking with Levi Ashcroft, mate?
No, you're both 100% correct. You've got to be in a real luxury position if you're probably not trading him, to be honest. That means that you've probably got a Murphy Reed, or you still got a Sam Davidson, maybe you have an O'Sullivan. You're in a great position where you can afford to hold him, honestly. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, wonderful. Geez, we're getting through these quick. Third on the list is actually the first and only defender on the list. 6.5% of all coaches, so 6,150 owners of Luke Trainer are ditching him. I'm keeping him. What are we doing here? What's the thoughts, Joshy? If I know you own Trainer, are you keeping or are you trading?
I'm keeping. I mean, they kept him last week with a 70-something break even. I think it's up to 80-something now. But that two rolls out after this round. Hawks may be a bit of a challenging matchup, but as I said with Lawler, they've then got West Coast, North Melbourne, and even Essendon. So I reckon those 3 games is going to be someone that you could probably be pretty confident in fielding, especially with 3 80-plus scores leading into that too. But then again, same thing with Levi Ashcroft. If he's the only guy that you can really cash in to get that extra primo, then I guess your hands are kind of tied and you ship him off for a primo.
Yeah, no, I agree. Verns, do you own Luke Trainer at all, mate?
No, I moved him last week. And I
Yep.
think, honestly, for the people moving him right now, it's pretty poor planning, because if you were holding him through last week, like, why would you not be holding him going forward, more or less? Like, that two's about the rollout. As you said, a great fixture. If you've now run into a position where you're like, oh no, I need to trade him to make an upgrade, then that was just poor, full planning, unfortunately. So probably a misplay for those guys that are forced to move him out. And if you're not forced to, then what are you doing?
Whoa, big slap in the face from you, Vernstrom. I like that. Right. Second on the list, and I'm fairly sure we all missed this rookie who has been literally fantastic. 7.2% of coaches, so 6,860 owners are trading Murphy Reed out playing against St Kilda this week. I completely missed him. Joshy, I'm fairly sure you didn't own him at all.
Yeah, I missed him as well.
Verns, did you own Murphy Reed?
Nah.
No. And props to me, just a side note, I haven't called him Marley Reed yet, so I'm on fire tonight. He's got a break even of 64. Is Murphy Reed really a high priority to get out when surely you own, I'd imagine most coaches that own an Ashcroft or like one of the defenders, like, is he really a priority to move along? Verns, what's
Well,
your thoughts on it?
that's the great debate there. Is it worth moving Reed or Ashcroft sort of thing? As you guys obviously mentioned, you're moving Ashcroft, so you prioritize that over the trainer trade. Clearly, most people are prioritizing the Reed trade over the Ashcroft trade. I think I would be in that boat as well. I think Ashcroft just a more consistent, better ceiling. Yes, he's got more money on his head, but if you don't really need that money, it'd be better to hold. Yeah, I think it's a perfect time for him. If you hold him a week, it's not the end of the world. But honestly, if you're on him full stop, it's just such a leg up on the competition because he was honestly a bit of a pod rookie. And gosh, he went off.
He did. Joshy, if you owned Murph Reed, what would you be doing?
I'd definitely be trading over Levi. Like Ashcroft has the lower break even. I think it's 48 or something, and I think Murphy's, as you just said, is in 64 now. Ashcroft has a better average as well. I think he's averaging like 75 something. So as I said before, if I could hold him, I definitely would. And I'd definitely be holding him over Murphy Reed if I owned both of them.
Yeah, no, I get that. Understandable, mate. The most traded out player with a break even of 50, priced at 310,000, being let go by 8.9% of his coaches, total number of 8,414 is, any guesses, gentlemen?
Davidson.
Is it guessing when we see it?
Yeah, no, perfect. Yeah, Sammy Davidson. I'm trading him out this week. I think he's been fantastic. Break even to 50, that's more than achievable. But I just like the monetary value that he holds right now gets you a premium, and I'm more than happy to let him go, especially when he'd just be on my bench anyway. So that's my reasoning. I'm sure many would align with that, and I'm sure many would be against that. But personally, I thank Sammy Davidson for his services, and a shout out to that massive 100 he scored against Carlton in a bye week. That will stay very close to my heart forever. And I wish him a monstrous career. Joshy, Sammy Davidson, do you still own him, or did you trade him prior?
I traded him 2 weeks ago, actually, to Dacos, so I wasn't complaining. Got that 170 in. But yeah, I think it's time to move. Like, this is someone, as you said, that has 129 in his 7-game cycle, but he's still averaging sub 70. So other than that big spike score, really, and he's 82 against the Saints, he's kind of been pretty poor in terms of on-field scoring option. But he's made the cash. I just think it's time to go now if you can cash him in.
Yep, understood, mate. Verns, what's your opinion on Sammy Davidson? Are you an owner firstly, or did you ship him off earlier?
Yeah, same thing as Joshy. I actually did the reverse, Joshy. I moved in track 2 weeks ago, and then Dacos last week. Instead of Dacos the track, the correct way to obviously have done it. But yeah, I moved him off. I think perfect time for him to go. And I think the only reason Murphy Reed's not number one is just because Davidson's owned by a good 15% more people in the top 5%. Yeah. So yeah.
No, wonderful. And that's the top 5 traded out players. I'm going to throw to you, gentlemen. Normally we go straight into the traded in. Do we want to go to some comments first? Because we always say that we try and hit our KPIs, get this done in a timely manner, yet we're always here far too late. So I'm suggesting a little bit of a speed run straight through the comments. And if we see a comment that we've already answered, obviously we'll just tell you to go back to that once it's been uploaded. I think that's more than fair, but we always get to all the comments. Is there any objections for that?
Sounds good.
No. First one is from Balupa. The C on Newcomb didn't work this week. Scobes, haha, nah, but I still like the trade. He just took a backseat against West Coast. Oh my God. Was that a hard watch? That was so poor. Like, that lucky goal got him to 100, and well below expectations. Again, Balupa says he's looking at bringing in one of Rosie, Clark, Track, Ash, and Miller. He reckons he's missed the boat with Bowie. What is your preference, Verns? Can you please rank these 1 to 5 for me?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rosie, Track, Clark, Ashton Miller.
Yep.
Obviously Ash is performing the best, but he's got the highest price tag to him. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that.
Joshy?
Well, Scobes, I've missed Clark by $500 this week.
Yeah,
and it's
geez.
absolutely
And just
painful.
a shout out to, if anyone ever has the ability to read our text messages, the abuse that I cop for you missing a simple trade is like therapy inducing.
Yeah, well, I missed him by $500, so I am getting in Rosie at the moment, and that's purely because I think Port Adelaide 3-0 at the moment with him as a halfback. He's had 3 tons in a row, including a Jordan tag, and he still managed 103. So I think he will get DPP in what is it, round 12, or round 11? So
11.
not that
Round
long.
11. Yep.
Yeah, not that long at all. So I'd probably rank him number 1. Lucky Ash has been going under the radar. He's been like massive this year. If you have a chance to look at his scores, have a look. So I'd put him at 2. Flip a coin between Track and Clark, and I'd put Miller last, as good as he's been.
Isn't Lockie Ash injured?
Don't think so.
I think he
Did he
is.
get injured?
I think he is.
Uh,
You can do
this
some
girl's just
live
trolling
research
us.
for me if you want. This is hard because I've got the option of getting Track in currently or Rosie, and I don't know where I'm going to go. So I'm going to sit on the fence and literally have who is in my team currently at number 1, which is Track, Rosie, Clark, Miller, and then Ash, because I'm fairly sure Ash is injured. Fairly sure he is. Embit of Joel says to me,
Oh,
Sandy.
hang on, sorry. I think you've been stitched up by a fake account.
Oh no! There you go.
Oh,
Fact check.
Are you? Yeah, I think
don't
you
know.
are. So AFL Central, so it's a mock page of AFL Central, has tagged
Right.
Mitch Cleary 87, which is a fake Mitch Cleary, and said Lockie Ash is set to miss several weeks. So I think you've been pranked.
Well, there
I
you
don't
go.
know.
That's
Pranked by his
why
own
we pay
account.
you the big bucks, mate. Fact checking is everything. I like that. Emmett of Joel says to me, Sandy Brock is everything. This bloke literally sends photos of Sandy Brock to us in the DMs. It's
That's ridiculous.
disturbing. Number 1 downgrade option is Henry Huswaite, aka the Pencil. Any disagreements, gentlemen?
Probably Sandy Brock. No, of course.
Yep, perfect.
I
DJ
agree.
Gardner Holmes says Bo should get a week for staging. I agree. That's in reference to the Chera strike, push, cuddle, love tap, whatever you want to call it, which I'm sure we will get to it. Jakey Sharp, absolute superstar. Evening, MRO lovers. Hope you're well. Yeah, mate. What a joke. Roddy Todd, superstar. Absolutely, mate. We're always on here. You know that. That's why you tune in every single week. SuperCoach Locke says, Chera suspended for 1 week. Would you trade him out if it means getting Rankin in? No. And I'm firm on holding Chera for 1 week. Is that fair?
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Joshy,
Yeah.
I want to get your opinion on this absolute weapon that went 150. Bailey Humphrey, tell us what you really think, mate.
He can get stuffed. Like I don't know how can you have West Coast and Richmond in your 3-round fixture when I've got you in my team, and you drop I think it was a 74 and a 48 against those two sides, and then you come out against Sydney and play like you are prime Dustin Martin. Like it was absolutely ridiculous. 150 points. Yeah, like. Everyone picked him because he had 2 back-to-back hundreds, and he went 64, 74, and 48 when he was in everyone's teams, while Ryan Marriott is just picking off the halfback flank for West Coast Eagles, taking every kick in known to mankind. And Bailey
that's
Humphrey
fantastic.
just ran around like he was not even remotely a chance to get the ball. And then all of a sudden, as I said, prime Dusty, I think he ended up kicking 5 and had a stupid amount of disposals as well. It's actually... It really pissed me off. Like, really pissed me off.
I know it did
Look,
because the abuse that you were
Yeah.
sending in all the group chats, that was interesting.
Oh,
just while
I
we're
don't-
on that is going to be my
Yeah.
Verns Burns of the week because my lord, did that hurt. Not only did you go Humphrey over Marriage with hurt every week, then you trade him out and he does that to us, mate.
yeah,
Oh my goodness, talk about frustrated.
that was stiff. And like they slaughtered Sydney in the end, which obviously the winning team's going to get the more favourable scaling, and he just like. Yeah, I did not enjoy seeing, I think it was 3 possessions, 2 marks, 1 goal, 38 points in the first quarter. That was disgusting. Made my eyes bleed. I don't really like cheese. Shout out to this bloke, Superstar. He wanted to know, Josh, are you still stuck on the toilet?
no, I just made it in time. That's why we were a few minutes late. But yeah, all systems go.
You are a disgusting human. Roddy Todd wants to know, will they appeal? They better. Honestly, they better. They have to.
They have to. They absolutely have to.
It's just, common sense. Swizzy, shout out to you, mate. He reckons the Blues will appeal. So does Supercoach Lock. Absolutely. Shout out to Logs. This bloke knows his Carlton, and he's bearable as well. He's actually a very decent individual. Very good with team changes, lineups, ins and outs. He just says, Chera, God, that's a bad decision. They're 6-0 with our challenges. Our lawyers would get him off within 15 minutes. Oh, absolutely they will. Literally Cripps got handed a Brownlow when he murdered someone. That was an absolute joke. Absolutely. He also suggests Ash and Reed to Huswaite and Tracker for him. Is there any objections to that?
No.
I mean, he's clearly trading Lockie Ash from your fake news. No, jokes. I know he doesn't.
Yeah, well, if Ash isn't injured, then obviously don't do that. This is interesting. Chera went off. I didn't watch this game because watching Carlton make me sick, but Chera went off with a groin issue. He did come back on. Do you think that they rest him anyway? Or, I don't know the severity of it. Is there any chance of that happening?
Well, they have until 11 a.m. to challenge, and if they don't challenge, I think that will be the reason. But, I mean, he came off. He was literally only off for 2 minutes. They gave him pickle juice, which I thought was an indicator of a cramp. But I don't know if your groin can cramp. But the fact that he came on with 9 minutes left and played out the whole quarter after that, I think he's fine with the groin. And another thing is as well, there's already reports coming out about Silvani's extent of injury, Zach Williams' extent of injury, and not a single thing has been said about Chera's groin. So I think his groin is going to be okay. And, Adelaide, I think they'll need him if they can get him.
Is it? Now, I can't believe this, and I don't, it could be true, but I'm not too sure if it is. Silvani broke his hand/finger, whatever it is, because he was punching Dangerfield. Is that correct?
Yes. And Dangerfield was doing it back.
Oh, no, I don't laugh at injuries sometimes. No, I'm joking. But if you're punching a bloke and you break your hand, you deserve it. If you disagree with me, just literally hate on me as much as you want, but you are an idiot. If you punch a bloke and break your hand, you deserve it. You genuinely deserve it. And it doesn't matter if you play for Carlton or not. If you do, if that was a Collingwood player and you punch someone, break your hand, you're out. You deserve that wholeheartedly. Can't read Supercoach Pro's next comment because it's a little bit naughty, but we love you too, mate. Michael Higginson says, do you think Daniels is a keeper if Sheasel stays in defence? Thinking of trading Daniels to Jerry. I think that's Caleb Daniel. Is that too sideways?
I would not do that. No.
I'd be trying to get someone else to Sherry. Daniel has a low score of 81 this year, and it was in round 1. And he's averaging 99.7. I think he's been completely fine.
Yeah, right now he's a forward keeper. Why would you move him?
Ooh, I love the sassy attitude from you tonight, Verns. And this is another question directed straight to you. Geez, you get a lot of love on this channel. You deserve it, though. Pro says, Verns, please give me 3 disgusting pods that are cheap because I want to hear them. No gaslighting. I legit always love a Verns pod. Any under 490K, he's ranked 357, and he had to include that. Honestly, Verns, go for it, mate.
Oh, mate. Look, one I was actually eyeing off in the Geelong game was bloody Sean Mannon. And then I went and checked his price and went, it's actually a little too expensive for me, unfortunately.
Mm.
I would have loved it if he was like 50 to 100k cheaper.
Yep.
But obviously Bowie's been massive. Like one of those picks that if you started him, insane. Like in reality, when Callum Mills went down, this was the sideways. This was the guy.
Yeah.
And the thing was, people were starting Bowie a couple of years ago, and we all just forgot about him after his injury last season. He disappeared off the face of the earth, and I feel like he just got forgotten. So he's been really, really good. I think you could go there. 3 pods. God. Look,
I got one
I'll have
for
to.
you.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. This will be dirty.
Well, one's serious and one's a piss take. Well, not a piss take, but just rub salt in the wounds of those who trade him. But the first one, the rub salt in the wounds, is could you go Finn Callahan after back-to-back 116s at 450k?
I think
Like-
Pro actually owns him. Like he,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
still
no,
hold
he,
him.
he held him. He held him.
Yep.
But the big one for me is you take out Peter Wright, who's played 2 games so far. Luke Jackson's injured at the moment. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the fit forwards that have played every single game, Matt Kennedy at 470k is currently ranked
yes.
5th,
Yeah, I
and
was
he's
looking
averaging
at
100.
Yep.
Yeah,
He has
He's coming
got
off
an
125,
insane run
119.
coming up at Marvel.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I
I
really
just
like
wonder
that.
how he gets affected when obviously because Bond's been playing managed minutes. It's like when Bonds gets fully back into it, Treloar gets back into the team. How does that end up affecting Kennedy, sort of thing? That's what I'd be worried about. And I don't know. I feel like we already have so many forwards like Smith,
and
McRae,
he's gone.
Petrarca. If you have Rankin in there,
Yep.
Daniel, we just talked about. You could potentially force him in, but I feel like there's probably someone better that you're missing out on, and probably for not much more. So at least that's
The
how I
only
feel.
reason that I didn't delve more into Matt Kennedy is when Bont got subbed out, Fraser's CBAs went up and Kennedy's went down a little. And that just scares me. Like if I'm paying that much, I'll just go to track. And I know that's not a pod,
Yeah.
but yeah. No, I'm sure Pro can DM you and get stuck into that. Sportsnut129 says, is short to Zorko fine this week?
Yeah.
God, I don't even know how I feel about bringing Zorko in, just because he's been so underwhelming.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'd rather go for a different defender. Like, you don't have to force Zorko right now. You could probably still wait to see him make that turn and then get on him. Like, he doesn't have a crazy low break even or anything. I mean, it's fine if you want to do it. It's fine. But it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah. No, I
Does it
get
change
that.
your mind if I tell you that Zorko went 160 and 138 against Gold Coast last year?
Honestly, no. Like, Zorko's form right now, I don't know. Like, if he gets back to punching out 130s and he just looks like the Zorko that he did in the first 4 or so weeks, 100% he's an absolute steal. But till then, if he keeps on this trend where he's getting low tons to 80s, it's actually not worth it.
I think he'll be fine. Like, he had 34 touches, 9 marks on the weekend. So I felt like he was a bit underscored with 104, but I think it's good. A lot of people were worried about Jasper Fletcher affecting him, but I think 34 touches, 9 marks is an indicator he's still got that piggy role.
Yeah.
I guess the age factor is the only one that scares me, but
Yeah.
I mean, he
And look,
bounced back with his time.
It's a break even 130. Like, as I said, you
Mm.
don't have to rush it. Then again, it's against Gold Coast, and he always goes bananas in this rival matchup. Him and Took, they stare each other down and go bananas. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I would personally wait or go someone else.
So you reckon you can wait or you can go? Is that like literally it's 50-50?
You know what? I reckon go someone else. Go Clark.
Yep, no, fair enough. Roddy says the breaking it up bad. Yeah, I'm not too sure what the go with the audio is, mate, but we'll do our best to get ahead of that. Gav says Murphy Reed probably has to go. Well, I mean, fair enough if you were smart enough to pick him. Pro says Sardis going to be so cheap next year, 99k rookie mid, sub vest at best this year. Mate, I'll tell you right now, if Elijah Sardis is named and isn't sub, I'll be boosting him in. Simple as that.
I probably will too.
Like I'm all for it. And the amount of GIFs and memes and drafts I have saved on Twitter just to absolutely launch into when I see in E Sardis, Elon is going to ban me. Absolutely ban me. Pro also says, someone sell me Warner as he's desperate. He can't afford track. I can't sell you Warner because I highly think he's going to get the Bedford tag.
Unless you're happy
I'm
with
all for it.
130s or 50s and a little in between, don't jump on the roller coaster.
Yep.
Look, he did have a better role this week. I think he played more CBAs, but yeah, I couldn't imagine owning that. It feels like a nightmare. I mean, positives, when he gets those low scores, they'll just roll out because of the 23rd premium, most likely. And then you do get the high scores at least. So it's not terrible, I guess, if you take that into account. Sort of like key forwards.
Danny Green says, hey lads, hope you're well. Thought of my trades. One is Dow to Huswaite. Who is Dow?
Does he have Thompson Dow?
It would have to be Thompson Dow because Paddy Dow hasn't played all year.
Isn't Paddy Dow like in the shadow realm? He's genuinely dead, isn't he? Like,
he's been injured like all preseason. I don't think he's even played a VFL game this year. Paddy Dow.
Would you even move Thompson down with 43 break even though? Like,
he's averaging 78. How does someone end up with Thompson Dow?
That's
interesting.
At a starting price of 320k. I don't know how that even happens.
Oh, that's nasty. But he's going to move down to Huswaite and Kako to Warner, and he's going to complete his forward line or trade 2 Short to Huswaite and Archer Reid to Meek for his R2. Oh, I reckon you just cop the tag.
I'm going to go trade 1.
And option 1.
Yeah, trade 1.
Yeah. Pro, we've spoken about Matty Kennedy, absolutely. Let me ask you two, maybe to try and help Pro out, Matt Kennedy or Chad Warner?
Kennedy.
I'd go Kennedy, yeah. I just wouldn't be happy with the 61-week 120 the next week.
Yeah, interesting. CJG. G'day, boys. Don't know if you've touched on this yet, but should I be going all out and using my last boost to get from Boyd to Jerry? He's already got TDK, Meek, and Flint.
No, why would you do this?
It's not
Pokemon, one of them's going to get benched.
You're not touching all the rucks. No.
Yeah, forces Flint to the bench. That's just, don't do that.
No, I don't like that. And it's your last boost. No.
I'd go Meek to Sherry.
That's a shout.
But yeah.
Andy Harlan says, hey, guys, I heard Chera has a band. Yeah, surely that's turned around. Surely. The Greek Raven. Geez, that's an interesting name. Hey, guys, I scored Paulie 2373 thanks to the likes of Dale, Merritt, Rao, and so on this week. Levi and Marley. I've done it. It's only taken me 33 minutes. Jesus Christ. Murphy Reed to track and Huntsville, Hustwaite, I think. Geez. Yeah, no, I would do that. Is there any objections there?
Sounds good.
No.
Yep, perfect. Ross the Boss, the lads, how are you? I'm good. I think we're all good, actually. Pies are still on top. Joshy had a great Anzac Day. So we're all fantastic. He's missed some of the live stream, so been watching on the replay. Thoughts on Murphy Reid, Pryor, and Davidson for Marshall, Chad, and Oscar McDonald, or do I tank the flex for the primos instead of the cheaper guys like the ones I mentioned? Personally, I hate that. Genuinely hate that. So that's a no.
Yeah. I hate it purely because of Oscar McDonald. I don't think he's going to keep his spot. Obviously, it sucks because he's on the bubble. He's coming off a mid-80s score. But with Luke Jackson very, very close to returning, Pat Voss only 1 week left on his suspension, who Oscar McDonald came in for, I just don't think you could pick him with confidence. And I say it pretty much every week when it's in regards to Freo, but our Resident Freo man, Damo from the Footy Mailbag, again said that he couldn't say to pick McDonald with confidence just because of those two coming back.
Could you pick McDonald if you purely needed just a rookie score this week? And then are they any good for looping? Like, is that even an option?
Well, I mean, they're probably going to be in the graveyard 440 Sunday shift quite
Yeah.
regularly because they are all the time. But with all the dead rookies we've had this season, like I guarantee you most teams have at least two of your Camporellis, your Neverts, your Clay Halls, your Tom Grosses, Sardar Hawleys. The list goes on. It's actually getting quite ridiculous. And there's probably even more that are going to get dropped in the very near future. I just don't think you can bring in another rookie that's going to be dead because there is no way Freo will play in the same team Darcy, Jackson, Amiss, Tracy, and Oscar McDonald. I just can't see it happening, especially with down back. They've already got the key tools playing in that side. So, yeah, I don't think you can pick him for one round.
No.
And that's why I'm going early on Huswaite.
I think it's a great point with those rookies as well, because I think we're all experiencing it right now because we have people like Ross and Henderson. When we downgraded to them, yes, we got money to make the upgrade this week, but then when I guess Henderson this week, if he was playing each week, would be this guy that would be downgrading this week because he hasn't accrued any money. We don't have anyone to downgrade this week, and we're getting a little bit awkward where we're having the forced Levi out. When I look into the future, I don't know what I'm doing in my future weeks because I'm running out of rookies myself. So I cannot stress. We cannot afford to bring in more deadwood.
All those dead rookies that you named, I own none of them. Yet my rank is still shocking.
Yeah, you've had a good run with rookies. Like the only dead one you have is Closey, but even he could get straight back in.
I tell you what, geez, I was sweating hard until I saw him run out for the VFL side, and he put on a clinic. So he's probably going to be back this week, hopefully. Shout out to the likable Scott brother for allowing me to loop. One more, and then we'll get into the top 5 traded in. Is Trainer to Bus or Nevitt / Sarters to Huswaite better? I'd go Nevitt to Huswaite because Sarters is going to play this week. I'm confident.
As an SN fan, I genuinely think Sarters does get back in this week, only because we obviously our VFL side played Saturday. And then we play Thursday night for the seniors. So it was a very short turnaround for the VFL to the AFL. And Sarters got held out of the AFL despite not being named as an emergency on Anzac Day. So unless he's injured, which we'll find out tomorrow night, but I don't think he is, I'm pretty sure they held him out to play on Thursday night. And the good thing is it's the first game of the round, so you get to see if he's sub. But in saying that, I would probably do Nevitt to Huswaite instead of Trainer to Bus. Bus has only played the one game. Liam Jones got dropped for him. How good's his job security? Like Liam Jones, yes, he's in really bad form, but he's a pretty established player that could come in at any point. So yeah, I'd probably just wait until Thursday night, see if Silas is back in. But from that, Nevitt to Huswaite.
Yeah. Verns?
No, 100% agree. I mean, I'm eyeing off Sardis for a potential trade-in if he comes in because once again,
I will boost for him in, and I cannot wait to have vindication when he scores 120 and I can rub it into your face, Joshua. And we're going to move on. Do we need to talk about Chad Warner? Because he is number 5 on the top 5 most traded in. Would you trade him in this week? Because I would not.
I can see why people are doing it because 460k is pretty a good
cheap
price tag. It's very cheap.
Does he even get his break even of 79 if Bedford tags him?
Does Bedford go to him? I know Heaney came off sore very late in that game. I guess he'll probably get up, but I mean, if Heaney's out, that really makes the tag go to Warner even more. Do you guys remember who Bedford tagged last year? Because I can't recall it.
Warner.
Well, exactly then, and I'm not sure what he scored.
Too big.
Yeah, Heaney. Yeah, I guess Heaney is too big. That's true. I'm just going to quickly look at what Chad Warner scored last year for a little bit of an indicator. Against GS last year, 72. So, yeah. As I said, you're going to get 71 week, 120 next week with Warner.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're willing to ride that, it's like a Dylan Moore pick. You're going to be on a
Yeah.
roller coaster ride.
Yep. Verns, Warner,
Look, I think
yes.
I stressed enough about that. We're not really for the Warner pick.
Yep, perfect. Number 4 is the Bont. If you can get in $681,000 Marcus Bontempelli, are you pulling the trigger?
I'm not. It's unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. But yeah, right now, you got to bring in the cheaper guys, the fallen premiums, hope that some point in the season, even if they don't have bad games, like he's so expensive that he has a couple of 120s back to back and you'll start losing money as well. Like that's just how expensive he is. So I think you just need to go for these cheaper guys, and you can always flip them later to the Bont because he does have the first buy, and hopefully he can maybe lose a bit of money by then.
Joshy? Because I agree with Verns.
Oh, Verns is bang on. Like it's kind of the reason why I'm not 100% ruling out Chad Warner, because you do have to try and go down this value primo route. Like the last 3 weeks, I bought in Dacos at 580, probably bottomed out. Then I got Truck at 480, and now I'm getting Connor Rosie at 530, which not a bottomed out price for Connor Rosie, but it's a cheap value primo. And that's purely because like I don't know how many other teams are in the same boat as me, but I think there'll be a fair few. But I look at the cash den that's left in my side. I mean, you got a Riley Bias who everyone mostly has, but other than that, you're looking at like your Kakos, your Never who's dead at the moment. Moraes is moving slower than Connor Stone has been. You got Camberelli dead, Hawley dead. Carroll can get dropped at any moment. Trainer has another week until his break even resets. Like we're really running out of these guys that are making money.
What about the bloke that you look a little bit like at F6, mate?
I
can't say with a straight face. Sammy Power Pepper, the people's man.
And that's why I'm even more pissed at Humphrey, because Power Pepper's the one that went to Bailey Humphrey. And it's just a disaster of a trade, like absolute disaster of a trade.
No, that's
yeah. I mean, like as I said, and we're literally talking about the only rookie of note on the bubble this week is Oscar McDonald, and he's as big drop risk as anyone. I mean, I'm bringing in Husway early. We're probably going to get to Husway in the most traded in soon. It's because there's no one to bring in, and we're running out of these guys to cash in. So like you're gonna have to play the value game, I reckon, to actually be able to afford a team.
Look, can I also add a weird take here? Like, I understand right now, like, you don't want to end the season with, let's be honest, 7 forwards. We don't want 7 forwards. You want an extra mid, you want an extra ruck, you want an extra defender with how good they are. You don't want an extra forward. But honestly, the forwards are so cheap. You could get in, let's just say 7, technically 8 forwards. Let's say you get 8 forwards in, get in a Chad Warner, get in another cheaper forward. They manage to make 100K, they make 80K, Bont drops 50K, and then you flip them to the Bont. Like that could be an angle where, yeah, you might have more forwards early, but you're getting rookies off field for cheap guys, and then you're able to flip them to the uber premiums later.
I'm not against that at all. Like, I think we're all in agreement that 680K, that's too much. And it's not against the player, it's the monetary value and the cash generation factor as well. The next bloke, though, is who I am currently on purely, and I think that's purely from the angle that I'm looking at it, because of the fixture, the price, the position, and the break-even, and that's Petrarca. I was not on it at all, but liked what I saw. And that's not including, obviously, the goals. So I'm more than happy to now pay that little bit extra for him, a tick under 500K. And again, it's the break-even that we spoke about, like a break-even of 70, good fixture. I trust him more than Chad Warner. So I'm like, I can't comment on the pick because I'm bringing him in myself. Joshy, I know you own him. Verns, you own Track, don't you?
Yeah, yep.
Is there any issues in bringing him in this week? Like, is there anything that you, when you see him in your team, that you're like, hang on, this could go wrong?
Definitely not. I think the funny thing here with track, we always want this with the midfielders that get forward status. We want them to play enough forward early on to get that DPP, but then we want them to revert back to playing the 80% CBA mid once they actually get the forward status. And that's kind of happened with track. He actually got that,
yeah.
which is nuts. So I really think you should be getting on him.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Number 2 most traded in player, played 1 game, did look good. That's Henry Huswaite. I'm bringing him in. I'm going early. Joshy, you just said you were. Verns, are you bringing him in early?
I'm still working out my trades,
Yep.
but he's top of the list at the moment.
Would you have any concerns about bringing him in at all? Because right now, I reckon he's the best option.
No, I agree. I think he's the best option this week. For what we've seen, it's not a good week. And as I mentioned, if Sardis actually gets named, I'd love to go to Sardis instead and wait the week on Huswaite, if I could.
That's a good shout. That's a very good shout. Joshy, any concerns with Huswaite at all?
I mean, the big concern is Connor Nash. He's obviously got 3 more weeks suspended. Huswaite was the one that came in for him. And we saw in the Hawthorn doco in the preseason, Huswaite was pretty much begging Sam Mitchell to play and asking what can he do to play.
Mm-hmm.
He even floated playing a half-back, and he just wasn't able to get in despite massive VFL numbers until one of these Hawthorn midfielders did come out. And that's in addition to Will Day as well. It still took someone else to come out. So that's the only problem. But I guess 3 more weeks suspension, you're guaranteed 2 price rises out of Huswaite at least. So maybe you get 80K, and then from then on, it's just how he plays. But I mean, it was a pretty good audition game to start, 24 touches. But yeah, the only negative is that just Connor Nash is going to be coming in when he's done his suspension.
I mean, that's definitely it. Like, can he play his way into the team? Sort of like Ned Long, where he just came out, went bang, and Collingwood went, well, okay, I guess we can't drop you. Can he do that? Can he force out a Ward instead and hold his position? Because that would be awesome for us.
Yeah, that would be like best case scenario. Yeah, absolutely. The number 1 most traded in player is a defender. Plays for Fremantle. We've been over him. Oscar McDonald. We reckon the job security is tripe. Is that fair to say?
Yep.
So it's a no?
It just has to be. You can't bring in another guy that could be a dead rookie in 1 or 2 games. You just can't. It's not worth the 50K rise.
Yep. Perfect. Right, that's everything on the official website. We're just going to slam the comments now. We'll just get straight through it. Kirsten Gonsalves. I butchered that. Apologies. Chad Warner versus Rankin. Scared about injury history. I'd go Rankin.
Oh,
Rankin.
Rankin 100%. And it's not just scoring. He is the funnest player to watch. I love him so much.
I'm so keen to try and bring him in this week. Woo-hoo.
Yeah. Awesome.
Sony Abraham says, Sony Abraham, hey guys, how are you? Track or Rankin, both are 497K. I'm going track purely for break even.
Yeah, I think that's track.
That's way harder, but track for break even, but that's tough.
Yeah.
So who is it?
Track.
Yep, perfect. Gregorius Pappas. Jeez, that is a fancy name. Trying to ignore Dale and remove rookies out. Pryor plus Hanley to Fraser or Warner plus 120K rookie. Bus or Huss or McDonald. Oh. I'll probably go Warner and Huswaite.
Yeah, I don't think you can bring Fraser in. Like, he's already burnt people this year. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's had a couple of good weeks, but he had a couple of good weeks to start the season as well to make people get him in. I don't think you can bring him in. So out of them 2, Chad, and I'd go Huswaite out of them 3 rookies.
Yep, I agree. Brady Ever says current trades are Clay Hall, Pryor to track, Huswaite. Could be any rookie. Really hoping Cherry gets off. He should. If not, maybe boosting him to Rankin. Love your work, lads. I don't really like the boost of Chera. Like, I think he's perfectly fine staying there. Like, if you're copying a 0, you've still got 22 players, do you not? Like, only 22 scores
Yeah.
count.
Yeah, the
Like,
flex
he's
is massive.
more than fine. More than
Yeah.
fine. But we'll tick off on your trades there. Is there any objection to that, gents?
Sounds good.
I'm the
Mitchy
same
Taylor.
objection.
Yep.
Yeah,
All
just
good?
the same objection. Like, you'd probably hold Chera to that round 12 bye, I reckon. That's when you flick him.
Mitchy Taylor said he's upgrading Murphy Reed and Levi Ashcroft to Primo and Rook, or move on some lower dead end rookies, Hall, Moraes, Kako, etc. Well, Moraes and Kako obviously aren't dead. They just need a spike game. They just need one. Like, Kako could have one this week and it cash gen, reset. Hall is a dead rook. But honestly, I'd go Murphy Reed and Levi Ashcroft to literally the premium and the rookie. That's my opinion. Is there any objections at all?
Yeah, not do that. I mean, the thing with Levi Ashcroft, as much as it does suck, if he only ends up making another 50K, if you get someone like Rankin who's debatably 50K underpriced, like, it's just better. Like, so
offsets it. Perfect.
Yep.
I don't really like cheese. Scobes got settled. Yes, I did. We've spoken about Oscar McDonald. Primordial Quasar says English, Murphy Reed to Jerry and Hust. Geez, that's luxury, but I'd probably do it.
I take it off too, yeah. English is kind of sucking.
Yep, absolutely. Joshy, you're happy with that?
Yeah, I honestly didn't even see. I haven't even seen a team with English this season, so I had to look at what he's averaging, and 94.4. I think him to Sherry's a massive trade. I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Sweez says, is there a player you'd be comfortable trading Chera to, i.e. Bont, Butters, Jerry? No.
Yeah, I'm happy to wait.
No.
Yeah.
Carl Manny says, g'day fellas, has Chera served his purpose and he can make way for a half upgrade? Would you chuck a pineapple at Jack Bowes for a cheeky Oscar nomination? If you can only take one, Chad Warner versus Orko. No, Chera stays. Yes, I would chuck a pineapple at Bowes, but then I'd take it back because that's just a weak act. Like, come on, let's be honest, you don't die for that. And I would take Zorko over Chad Warner. Thoughts?
Yep. Tick that all off.
Agree with everything, yeah.
Yep. Perfect. Jerb, shout out to you, mate. Absolute superstar. He's going Reed and Pryor to Buslinger and Hustwaite at the moment. He might use his third boost of the season to get Rosie in for Kako. Thanks again for your work. And oh my God. Yeah, Joshy, he just hopes your poo went well. Are we ticking that off?
Yeah, I think that's a great boost.
I would do that considering it's the third boost. And if you want to talk about Joshy's bowel movements, just go straight into his DMs. You know where to find him. Logs, he says it was cramp. He got pickle juice and a rub down, then came back out and played it out. That's in reference to Chera going off the ground with that groin issue / cramp. Thank goodness. Don't own him, but good luck to those who got on. But Ned Long, super handy in footy terms and SuperCoach cash gen extraordinaire. Absolutely. And what he does for Collingwood literally unlocks that midfield, and it is fantastic. Ross the Boss, that's funny as Scobes. It's karma backfiring. Mate, I don't know what this is, if that's about that.
It's about the broken hand, I think.
Oh, yes. No, if you punch someone and you get a broken hand, that's on you, like stiff.
Yeah.
Like that is... Oh, so many things I could say to that, and it makes it even sweeter that he plays for Carlton. Although we don't like injuries. Unless they play for Carlton. No, I'm joking. We don't like that. We don't like that at all. Sammy R. Hey, boys. Hope all of you had a ripper weekend, or Pies won. That was fantastic. Is it worth going Pryor and Davidson to Petrarca and Hustwaite?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you go Petrarca over Warner. Simple as that.
Yep, 100%.
Yep, perfect. Tommy Jack, g'day lads, just joined. What you think about trading in Fraser? Note, this is a bit of the psychological aspect. He hasn't owned him all season so far. No.
Yeah, don't do it.
No.
It's just
Joshy,
like the thing I said before, like he started with 109 and 100, and then he went 68, 49, 50, and now 124, 114. So what's to say he just doesn't have 3 more games of another rough patch again.
I mean, on top of it too, like, I guess we mentioned it before. If you can get a mid-pricer that makes money, I mean, the rookies aren't doing it, so great. But yeah, I have no confidence in him to do it. His role is all over the shop. It's not like he has some sort of designated kicker role where you can like bank that or CBA role. He's literally all over the shop. You just never know where he is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
agreed. Verns, before we go to the next question, do you own Brayshaw?
No.
No. Okay. So, Joshy, I'm going to direct this towards you. Feeve wants to know, because he's an owner, is it worth going Brayshaw to a value mid like Neil and bank the 100K since there's no money? Wendy might go to him this week.
No.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Absolutely not.
I definitely wouldn't. No.
He's had 2 150
I love the
plus scores in his last 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the thinking out of the box idea, but there's honestly a chance he could earn another 50K with the rate he's playing. So,
yeah.
And like maybe he cops Windhager, but Sarong's been copping him all year. The tags all year. Like I think they still go to Sarong over Brayshaw, as good as he's been.
Yeah.
Which is so annoying as a non-owner. So annoying. Brayshaw, you literally look at the first quarter. He's had like 11 touches, 4 tackles, 2 marks, and he's on 50.
I think that's a crazy thing. His tackle numbers are through the roof at the moment. I'm just like,
Yeah.
what? He doesn't do this.
Yeah.
That's why I think if he does get tagged, he should be okay. Just tackle numbers alone, and he might get it always seems to bob up for a goal as well.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I agreed. DJ Gardner-Holmes, big chance of Sardis getting a recall this week. Didn't play VFL on the weekend. 5-day turnaround, heading into the North game. Scott said Shields sat out the fourth quarter fatigued.
Yeah.
If Sardis plays, I boost to get him in. Simple as that. That's my opinion. And, oh, my goodness. Geez, it'd be great if that turns out well. But, like, let's be honest, it probably won't. Keelan says, if I hold Chera, it means I have to field an extra rookie. Yeah, I'd just hold Chera.
Yeah, I mean,
But
look at these rookies.
surely
Barry 89, Reed 90, like McDonald 85. Like, I know we're not going to own McDonald, but like rookies haven't been that bad. Like, so many of them seem to pop up at the moment, and you probably are only fielding like 4, so you really need like only 3 to pop up.
If Murray's, I think you don't have to make your trades early. Like, if for somehow you can get Kako into the mids, he pops. If he gets a 50, a 55 or something bigger, you could take that. If not, like, you could easily go Murray's in the midfield again.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that. That's the really challenging part about Kako. It's so frustrating because this is the one negative about finishing your forward line. I've got Caden Cleary on the bench now, and I can't. If I was able to get Kako into that midfield, I'd be able to swing any of those mid DPP forwards into the midfield and get Caden Cleary on the field, which I would love to do. But because there's just no like rookies that you can trade to like swing and bring in a forward rookie, that's the challenging part. The one I will float though is Aiden Johnson is on the bubble, hasn't been scoring that well. 2 weeks in the VFL last 2 weeks, and he's been really solid in the VFL. So has Van Rooyen, but I mean Fullerton hasn't been great. Do they drop 2 forwards, bring both of them in? Yeah, I think that's where people are handcuffed. Like they just can't get Kako into that midfield for that swing.
I can get Kako in there via Clossy.
I have literally Henderson and Smith in my midfield right now, so I can move tons of people around.
Which I guess, and that's the value of DPP. Like all Kako needs, he's averaging 50. Like it's not amazing, but it's not like he's averaging 30 odd.
Yeah. And we did see it in the preseason. Like, we know it was small forwards. You just need to get on the end of a few good goals, especially early in a game if it blows out, late in a game if it's close. Just a goal at the right time. The 40 points can get you to an 80 or a 90, and then boom, you're making money.
Simple as that. Like,
we do have North Melbourne this week as well, so you never know. Maybe this is the week we get a spike game. And he scored 55 against the Eagles without a goal. So you add a goal or 2 in that. Yeah.
It might be the week that Merritt pulls his finger out as well, because Jesus, that's been a tough own.
Oh, I can't wait to get him at 550. That's
I can't wait to
wouldn't
get him
even
at
advise
450.
it. Nah, like just runs around the ball, not to it. Pro says he's going to DM you, Verns. Geez, that's going to be an interesting conversation. Jerv says thoughts on Trent Rivers. By the way, Verns, are you keen for steel ball run?
Let's go to Rivers. Look, some of these Melbourne guys have such a low break even at the moment. Like, some of them were really, really, really bad to start the season. They lost a ton of money, and then they've been good the last couple where they've won games, and all of a sudden their break evens are super low. I don't have Rivers in front of me right now, but I feel like is he in like the 40s or 20s for his break even? It's like crazy low.
No idea.
24 on his break even. So crazy low break even for a lot of these Melbourne players. I know Sparrow, I think, had a similar thing. There's another. Who's the other Melbourne forward that starts with S? Not Sparrow. Spargo. I think he also has a low break even as well.
Spargo, wasn't that a disaster?
But all the
Going at
Melbourne
70
players just
Scobes
crazy.
reckons.
I didn't know. No. I got asked to project him going at 70s
Yeah.
by our good friend Janath, and no, absolutely not. There was no way in hell he was going 70s. No.
But I don't
Verns,
mind Trent Rivers. Just quickly on it, I don't mind it. He's super cheap, low break even. We mentioned it before. You get someone in cheap. If he can then put 100K on his price tag because he's pulled his finger out, and then you flip him to like a Sinclair later or something, or he ends up being a keeper that you got for a steal of a price, like it's not the worst case scenario.
What's this?
Well,
What
I was
is
going to
this?
say, I've never run my balls along steel, but if this is an arrangement you and Juicy have got going on, I'd love to know what it is. Because
Yeah, what is that? Is that another language? What is that?
Look, I'm as clued in as you guys.
Okay. Gerbs, you know, Verns' DMs, get in there. Kev says, hey guys, scored 2466 and went down 200 spots. If he captained Brayshaw instead of Dacos, he would have gone up 37 spots. That's how tight it is this season. Yeah, but you're not giving up a 125. Like, I just don't think you can do that. Keelan says if Chera misses a week, it means he's got to field another rookie. Mate, everyone's in the same boat. Simple as that. Like, Chera's averaging at 103. If it's 1 week, which I don't think it will be, they'll challenge that. They have to get off on it. Mikey Z says, hello, I want to get Lockie Ash instead of Zorko and Whitfield. Just seems like less headaches. Yeah, I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have anything against that.
Like when you're picking top tier premiums, you got to pick who you like. So
Yep. Out trainer Murphy Reed in bustling a Chad Warner. I'd prefer track, but if you can get to Warner, then yeah. Are you ticking off on that or probably not?
I think, as you said, if you could go up to a track, if you don't own a rank and something along those lines, it'd be great. But if it's all you can afford, it keeps your upgrade cadence going. So sure, I guess.
Joshy, your thoughts?
Actually, for me,
can I retract?
With
yes,
me,
you can.
it's the same. It's the same thing as Oscar McDonald. I just think Bustlinger has that real threat of being another dead rookie. Just because Liam Jones was dropped for him and senior player could get in at any time. We saw Tim Kelly get dropped for 1 week, had a pretty mediocre waffle performance, and still got back in straight away.
Yes.
So that's the only issue. Although in saying that, Giants lost, Hogan was relatively quiet. But yeah, I think you've got to at least wait until Bustlinger gets to the bubble. Otherwise, you're risking another dead rookie, I reckon.
I agree.
I definitely agree with that. Didn't look at that. I wanted to retract mine because it depends on who you're using to get to Chad Warner. Because honestly, if you're going Levi to Chad, I would just hold Levi the extra week. I mean, Chad's going to get a Bedford tag most likely, and Levi's been good. There's a good chance he outscores Chad this week. So depends on how you're getting to Chad, I guess.
It's Murphy Reed, mate.
Oh my goodness. Ignore me. Yep. You know what? Do it.
Pay for professionalism around here. Jesus. All right. T.O. says Bont, Huswaite in for Zorko and Curtin. tempting. Not sure I could do that. Thoughts?
I still wouldn't.
Would
No,
you do that, Joshy?
no, you got to build around these primos and upgrade the rookies, just to get those rookies off field. And I just think, as good as Bont is, paying 681K for him in the long run, you're not going to be able to finish your team as quick as others. So I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, nah, that's extreme. Convinced me to not raid trade Jordan Dawson. This bloke is a butcher and then had donuts in the last quarter. That is stiff.
Yeah, it's the
Like,
same reason
you trade
that
him?
you hold. No, it's the same reason that, like, just look at what Pro did. He held Finn Callahan and he's been rewarded with 2 116s back to back. And he's very good rank because of it. Like, you got to hold these guys and upgrade around them as much as possible.
Yeah, there's plenty of examples this season. You traded Jason Horn-Francis, you traded Rosie. The premium came good, and then you feel like an absolute silly Billy. We're just wording like that, boys.
Yeah. No, I get that. Kaylin says, if I've already got Neil, do I need to also go for Dunkley? No.
No.
If Joshy's been hot on Dunkley all week, but now I think he's on Rose. If you want an opinion on Dunkley, who I think it's fair to say CBA's dropped, played more wing, get in contact with Joshy on X and he will sort you out. The Chad re-signed now and he gets his midfield role back. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing against that at all. Jakey Sharp says 4K off Chera to Dunkley. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to begin with.
Yeah.
Pro says cash cows equal Peter Wright, make 120K and get good scores, then trade him in a few weeks. Joshy, you go for Essendon. What's the go there? Would you ever touch Peter Wright in Classic? And we're not talking about this draft business.
I don't think I would, but I mean, he's got break even -11. We've got North Melbourne this week. He's coming off 145 at 89.
I don't want to know his scores. I want to know, would you trade in Peter Wright?
If you're desperate for cash gen with North Melbourne and Richmond in the next 4, it's honestly not the worst move, especially with him playing second rock, especially with every single week Goldie's going to get more and more tired. So it's not the most horrible thing if you're desperate for cash gen. Like,
would you trade in Peter Wright?
I'm saying it is not the worst move.
Oh my God. Would you trade in Peter Wright?
Me, no. But
Okay,
others,
thank
yes.
you. Verns, would you trade in Peter Wright?
Look, I know you're asking the question, but sometimes when the key forwards get hot runs, you just need to get on them at the right time. I know a few years back, I got on Tex when he started hot. He ended up making a ton of money, and if you got off him on the right time, it was awesome. Chol is a good example where, in reality, he was coming into an amazing fixture. If you were preemptive and got on him coming into West Coast, then, like, you already got a good boost there. I think there's a world where, yes, if you do this, it's fine because the rookies suck, so at least it's going to make you cash. I'm not personally going to do it at all right now because I'm worrying about other things, but you know what? I'm not against it if you did do something wacky like that.
Would you trade in Peter Wright?
Well, I'm not going to, but there is a world I would.
Oh my God. You blokes cannot answer a yes or no question. Chris Clement says, would you consider boosting in Fraser 4 tons on the year, negative break even? No.
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 Nah. Oh, now we can give yes or no answers. Jeez, a turnaround. BR42 says Rankin or Petraka as a trade-in. He can't split them. I would go track purely for break even. What's the go there, gents?
Oh,
Yep,
yeah, track because of break even.
Yep. No, understandable. 3 more games until Nash is back. Is that still a worry for Huswaite?
Well, as I said, he gets those 2 guaranteed price rises, and then it's just whether or not he's played better than Josh Ward or a Cam McKenzie or any of these guys, really. So, yeah.
Yep, understood. Bailey Pullen says short to Whitfield, Dunks, Rosie, Merritt, Track, Jason Horn-Francis, or Warner. Geez, I'd go Whitfield.
Yeah, same.
Into potentially a James Jordan tag. Isn't that where James Jordan went last year? and the year before.
Yes.
Yeah.
I personally choose Rosie.
As a
Yeah,
Whitfield owner, though,
Well,
I
actually,
remember
track.
last
Sorry.
year. Yeah, as a Whitfield owner last year, I remember. Yeah, so he got smashed by Jordan in round 8 for a 54. But then the second time around later in the year, he got a 105. So I don't know. Maybe he's kind of learned to deal with the tag a bit. His kick-ins help. I mean, he could get 12 free kick-ins, and that's
Ash is starting to pinch those, though. Did you see Ash got 5 this week and Whitfield
Yeah.
got 3?
Yeah, true. And Himmelberg has always taken some as well. But
Yeah.
the thing with Whitfield is when he doesn't get the kick-ins, so many times he gets the kick-in receive. And that's even
Yes.
more than just a straight kick because he gets mark kick. So I actually sometimes, as a non-owner, prefer he gets the kick-in because, it's double the points when he gets the mark kick.
So it's Whitfield?
I'm going to go
Yeah.
track personally, but you guys can go Whit.
Thoughts on Murphy, Reid, Levi, Ashcroft, and Sam Powell Pepper to Rankin track and Husway? I would do
Are you going
that.
Sam Pepper? Doesn't he have like a great break even still? Because
He's got a 17 break even, but the way I see it, you're getting 3 rookies to 2 primos and a rookie.
That's so true. Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
Tick it off.
Josh, are you ticking off on that?
Yeah, I'd tick it off.
Initiator says you can't go early on rookies. Huswaite is not a play. Is that even his name? Yes, it is. Dunkley or Jordan Clark? I'm locking in Jordan Clark.
Clark.
Jordan Clark. If I had $500, I'd do it.
Yeah. Jonathan, Mirren, Myron. Thoughts on getting Sinclair in next week? Huge break even this week. I have no issue with it.
Yeah, I'm personally planning to get him in very soon. Hopefully he's going to fall in cash over the next week or so, next couple maybe, and then definitely a target.
Yep. Pro, we've answered our thoughts on Bowie, mate. We've been over that. Just rewind when uploaded. Sinclair versus Rosie. This week it's Rosie. Next week I would Price as well. We'd probably go Rosie if you don't already own
Rosie.
Sinclair. Michael says, "G'day lads. Are we keeping Davidson for another week? If you can facilitate getting another premium without trading Davidson, then yes. If not, no."
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the rookie you're trading too. Like if you're not trading Davidson, are you trading Ashcroft? Because I'm going to trade Davidson over Ashcroft.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, absolutely. Mickey D says, "Hey lads, who should I bring in this week, Rosie or Rankin?" I would go Rosie.
I'd go Rankin in that one.
Really?
I reckon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like you're saving nearly you're saving over 35k, and Rankin's more guaranteed top of his line, whereas Rosie, it's a line ball if he keeps that DP, if he gets that DPP.
I reckon he will get the DPP, so I'm going to say Rosie, but yeah, it's a close one.
Awesome. Jamboard says he's got to apologise to you, Verns, for beating you in the Verns YouTube 2 league by only 2 points this round. He didn't expect to get the win. Stiff.
Yeah, I don't think he actually had the win, and then I'm pretty sure in scaling, because I had Cleary and Roberts as uniques, they both came back in their scores, and it edged him over the line.
Even more stiff losing with a 25-70.
Oh, it's the only league I lost. Only
That
league.
is ridiculous.
That's very stiff. JCR says Brayshaw going to beat Nakos to the Brownlow. I reckon George Hewitt's probably leading the Brownlow right now, isn't he?
Well,
Yeah, there's been a few players doing bananas.
The problem is the umpires love Cripps, so whenever they can, they're going to give the votes to him over Hewitt. And another problem is Brayshaw was best on a couple of weeks ago in the West Coast game, but Sarong got the medal. And that's probably going to influence the umpires, give him 3 votes.
Yeah.
So I just think Sarong's going to steal too many votes, I think.
I mean, I'm thinking they're thinking who's stealing them from Dacos, but I mean, Sidey on the weekend, players from Collingwood really just pop up every now and again, and they do steal a little bit from Dacos here and there. It's not the same players back to back. It's always just someone.
I must say, though, as a neutral, non-Supercoach lad, you two Collingwood fans can tell me what you think. But as a neutral watching that game, Jamie Elliott was robbed of that medal. Absolutely.
Oh, God, I wouldn't say
had 35. Sidebomb had 35 touches, but half of them went to the opposition. He went at 48%. Elliott had
Yeah,
5
that's why I
goals.
reckon. Like, it's hard because I reckon the Brownlows same thing. Like, if you're looking at stats and disposal efficiency, you're
Yeah,
going to change your mind. Like influence,
Yeah.
I agree. Elliot was huge.
The
he was
thing was
massive.
also the clearances that went to side bottom. What he got 15. He drew with Dacos's record. Like he was
Yeah,
massive. Honestly, it's one of those things I was sitting there after the game going like, Elliot side bottom, who is it going to be? So like, I was pretty tossed up personally. So I don't think it was robbed. I think it was honestly just a really hard
yeah.
decision.
Oh, if Sardis had played, he would have won it, and Bombers would have won. Simple as that. Shout out to Rookie. He's an absolute superstar. Go and check his channel out. Does an amazing stream on After Dark. It's a little bit more explicit, so go and check him out. Heaps of fun over there. Just a genuinely nice guy. Definitely not a rookie coach at all. He wants to know, Joshy, what was your score again?
He's just asking to take the piss because him and our good friend Supercoach God, whenever I have a good round, they keep asking me to make me look like I'm gloating, but I won't say it. But Rookie Coach is a great man.
He wants to know, are we trading out rookies like Ashcroft and Pry if it means a trade on track Chad Dawson? If it's on track, yes. If it's on Chad, no. If it's on Dawson, no. That's my thoughts there.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Aqua HD had a great weekend. He watched Port win live for the first time in about 7 years. That was fun. More fun was seeing she's at centre-half back at last. Agreed. Thank you, Clarko. Thoughts on Noble in defence has looked great. I don't think he's going to be top 6, so that's a no from me.
Yeah, no, not for it.
No. He also says similar numbers to Clark for 475K. If you had got on a couple of weeks ago, then you're laughing. But yeah, I don't like. If you're choosing between Clark and Noble, I think it's fair to say we're going Geordie Clark, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, personally.
Yep.
Do we think that Noble and Rioli are the reason that Flanders been bad this year? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Flanders.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Massive impact. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jonathan Myron says he had his eyes on Noble as well. Great ball user and takes kickouts. Yes, absolutely. But we just said we prefer Geordie Clark. Good evening. Dalek says he's trading out Davidson for Hustwaite. He's thinking of bringing in one of these guys. Bowie's Orco or track. He wants to get in one of them while they're still cheap. What do you reckon?
I think we're all on the track train.
Yes. This week I'd go track, Zorko, Bowie, but I don't think you can go wrong with either three.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. Aiden went Hustwaite instead. Nightfall wants to know, should he go Lashcroft, Murphy, Reed for track and Hustwaite, save the boost, or trade Chera, Lashcroft, Murphy, Reed to track Hustwaite, Rosie, or Clark? If you bring in Clark, that's defense finished. What to do? I still wouldn't do that right now. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think option 1.
Option 1. Perfect. It's just a shout out to Pro. He's held all his primos and mid prices. Finn Roberts, he says, let them cook. Absolutely agree. Except I traded out Jason Horn-Francis for Bailey Humphrey and Marriage. So, yeah, that's terrible. That's disgusting. Go me. Jerb says, shout out to you, Joshy. You could have a career in politics with the way you weaved around that Peter Wright question. You'd have his vote. Awesome. Campbell Holtham says, bringing in McDonald. Should I trade out of Dudley with a break even or 21, or should I get rid of a Hall, Gross, or Campo? Just don't get McDonald. I wouldn't go there.
Yeah, I wouldn't go McDonald, but if you're trading a rookie, keep the guy that's playing. I know he's been subbed, but the other 3 aren't playing, so get rid of them first.
Verns,
probably
agree?
Fall with the money on his head, yeah.
Yep. Tony J, shout out to you, mate. Ashcroft and Layla to Husty and 763. I was bont to watching you guys. Nakos. I have Zeret, Neil, and Dunks. I can't give an opinion on Nick Dacos. I'd go him every day of the week. Price, break, even irrelevant. But yeah, what's your thoughts, gentlemen?
I mean, look, if you don't go for one of these big dogs, you go for someone at a cheaper price, you put the extra 200k in your back pocket, it means next week you can upgrade again, meaning you keep your upgrade cadence going.
Yeah.
Because, as we just mentioned, next week, the week after that, we're going to run into a position where I feel like I'm just going to have to not upgrade for a week or two. So I would go the cheaper guys, keep the upgrade cadence going.
I think you definitely get Dacos purely because he's 50k cheaper than Butters, 40k cheaper than Bond, and that 40k is the difference between going like a Moraes or I don't know, a 150k rookie in your trade cadence next week. 40k might not sound a lot, but when it comes down to upgrading, absolutely it is. And like then you can watch Collingwood games and be happy. Simple as that. And then if you got Ned Long, you'll be even more happier, won't you, Joshy?
That's true. I wish I had it, but I'm with Verns on this one. I mean, if you get a Connor Rosie over a Bond or a Nagels or something, you're banking like 230k with that salary. And as Verns said, that's another premium the next week. Whereas you get a Dacos or a Bond, that's almost that's over 100k less for Dacos and even more for Bond.
But would you rather Dacos or Rose?
You'd obviously
It's
rather
not a matter
Dacos,
of who you'd rather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when you look at it across 2 weeks. So across 2 weeks,
what I'm
would you
saying
rather?
is you're still going to upgrade next week.
Okay,
Not-
but then the week
yeah,
after
you're
that,
getting-
let's say the week after
Yeah.
that, then you can't upgrade. Like if you go one of
Yeah.
these more expensive guys, I think it's going to eventually affect your upgrade cadence.
I think
Yeah, it will.
eventually it will, and you'll have to, like as we spoke before about Kako, for instance, you'd have to hope that they have a spike score.
Yeah.
You really would.
Yeah.
And like
as I
that could
said
happen.
before,
That could
all
happen
these
this
dead
week.
rookies.
That could happen this week, or it might not. I just think like you've got to have one, don't you? Like you've got to
Honestly,
have
I
one.
don't know if you do. Like I look at my team, bro, and it's such bare bones. I have Dudley sitting there. Stone finally had like a spike game. Camporelli's dead. Gross is dead. Henderson's dead. Carroll's just come
Yeah.
in. Like my entire bench is cooked, man. Like until I have
Yeah.
like I have Bison Reed and Cleary as like my only upgrades really next week, and I'm not going to move Bice. I potentially move Reed. Cleary's too early. I'm thinking next week I've got to wait a week before I can even upgrade. So if you're in a similar position to me, unless you're absolutely ripped with cash, like you've got Murphy Reed in this team, you got on Marek, you got on Sam Pepper, you got on all the guys that made cash where you still have 2 or 3 extra guys at 300k that you're willing to move on for like the following next 2-3 weeks, you're going to run into trouble. Like I think you're going to run into trouble. And
But
as we
will you
mentioned, it's
not-
not coming anytime soon. Like we
Will
don't
you
have
not
any
need
rookies.
one of, and I'm talking like absolutely bare minimum, like a worst case scenario, one of Bont, Dacos, Brayshaw, or Butters?
Look, you definitely need them, but unfortunately, I think you missed the boat at this current time. I think you've got to bring in the cheaper guys for now. Wait for the mid-season buys when you've completed your team. You have 22 premiums, maybe you have 23. I don't care. And then you can look at, okay, I can put a rookie down for 100k, put 100k on top of this Chera that's sitting there on top of this Callahan, and then you're getting a Bont, then you're getting a Butters, then you're getting a Dacos from those guys.
So what you're saying is basically you're foregoing, and I guess literally,
For the next like 8 weeks or so. Yep, we're gonna have to forgo them.
You have to. It's the value primos are the way. Like you're banking 110k on Rosie over Dacos, or like 50, 60k on a Rosie over Bond.
That's why, like, even if it was, I'm trying to think of someone just so it's not pure bias, but like a George Hewitt, for example, he's going at 100, like his average is 124.9, so basically 125.
He's where I draw the line though, because
100.
he's flat 600k. Flat 600k, that's probably where you could do it. Is he not 603?
No,
he's 631. He's 631.
So
he's still expensive. And then on top of it, it's like, what just happened with Hewitt? He just dropped a 103, and that might not seem like anything bananas, but once this 171 drops out of his system next week, if he gets another 120 to 100 score, all of a sudden his break-even is going to jump to 170. and he's going to start coming down in cash. Like, to maintain that average, you have to be going bananas every week, sort of thing. You can't. You have one off game, and 103 is not even a bad game. But if you got a 103, say you bought in a guy for 330K, he gets a 103 for you. Rosie gets a 110, and then in 3 weeks' time, George Hewitt's now lost 40, 50K, and Rosie's gained 20, 30K. Like, I don't know, you just can't go to these guys. It's not maintainable to keep scoring that high. You're going to have a down game. You're going to lose cash. Maybe you earn more points overall. That's the big question. But then do you complete your team because you used all your money?
Well, I mean, I'll be first to put my hand up and say that George Hewitt was definitely not going to maintain this.
To be fair,
Anyway,
that 103 was looking like a sub 90 until that match-winning goal. So Verns is 100% correct. These guys can put in that one bad game. Like, I'm sure Butters has a Bedford coming up in the not too distant future. All it takes is 1 or 2 tag games and they'll drop. Like, would I love Bontempelli and Butters in my team? Absolutely, I would, over a Rosie.
100%.
But you just can't do it at the moment. With, like, we're talking about bringing in Oscar McDonald or going early on Buslinger and Huswaite. That is how bad the rookies are at the moment. We are not going to be able to afford full teams if we go these big guys.
If you've got 763K in the bank, me personally, I'd be just Brayshaw. I'd be comfortable bringing in that price.
Look, just with the prices as well. 100K bank. Like, look, Butters has 2 back-to-back 160s, which is insane. Like, that's so good. And if he goes 140 this week, which is still insane, he'll earn 26K. But then all of a sudden, his break even with a 162 and a 140 goes to 120. Like, to maintain this price, he has to go bananas every single week.
Bulldogs, Adelaide, Geelong, Fremantle.
Look, honestly, I Butters off last week, and I thought, man, if I could get him before North, I don't see a game where he gets tagged until Bedford, and he could go bananas. If you did get on him last week, awesome. But if you didn't, it's too expensive now. And even last week, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because the extra 40K I would have used on him over Dacos meant that I couldn't get Rankin this week, sort of thing. So I'm glad I made my decision.
I guess also, like, I completely agree. I think the threshold there is just a little bit different. Like, 100K bank for next week, I'd be happy with. I really would. And I think I'd rather a Brayshaw than a Rosé. But I know
of course you would, but it's the long-term thing. Like, it compounds.
But like, as I said, I'd be comfortable with 100K bank. And I know it doesn't work out to exactly 100K. It's like 97 point whatever it is. But that's a good discussion to be had. Because, like, if you're still banking 200K, like, you're going to keep it going. It also depends. Like, if Kako comes out, kicks 5, has 20, that's another upgrade.
I mean, I'll probably hold him for a couple of weeks after that.
It's gonna be hard when Sardis has 40 and 9. So, I mean, there's not many points going to small forwards when inside mids going bananas. So it's gonna be difficult. Anyway, this sums us up perfectly. You should become politicians. Well, we're hated enough, we talk enough crap, so we might as well just jump in their shoes. Emmanuel Spyro says, Chera to Dunkley, straight trade, or use a downgrade and then get Chera up to Neil. I'm holding.
Yeah, I'm holding too.
Yep. Travi says, thoughts on Jake Berry? Is it too late? We've already covered Jake Berry, I think, 2 or 3 times so far, mate, so just rewind. How many rookies are you fielding at the moment, and what's the ideal amount we should be fielding at this time? Currently, I have 3.
Yeah, I'm not counting Flynn as a rookie. Are we counting Bice as a rookie? I've got Bice, Reed, and Cleary if I'm calling rookies, but I don't even know if we count Bice as a rookie.
I guess. What's the average for a cutoff for a rookie? Like, what are we talking here?
Yeah, I guess it's hard. Is it score? Is it price? Like, what are we? Or what is it? Their starting price? I guess let's
think
go
it's
with
still
starting
starting
price,
price.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's
Starting
3 of them
price.
being busted.
If it's starting, well, Bice has made literally like 260K, so Bice isn't. I guess Reed is still a rookie. Does that mean Sam Powell Pepper's a rookie because he's made 180K?
No, as I said, it's starting price. That's how you gauge your rookies. So if I'm going off that, I've got Bice, Trainer, Lindsay, and Husway on field. So for someone like me, like if Chera's out this week with that suspension, I've got to field a Marias. As I
Yep.
said, I can't get Cleary onto field, and I think that will hurt me a little bit. I seem to be like 1 or 2 upgrades behind everyone. With 4 rookies on field.
Yeah, I didn't even count Chera out. If Chera's out, man, my bench is so bad. I just named all of them
Yeah.
not playing before. Like,
That's stiff.
I
Yeah.
I literally don't have a playing bench midfielder right now because I traded out Kako. But if I keep Kako, then I guess Kako can cover. God,
And
why is
that's
my
why
bench
if
so-
Sardis is back, I'm using a boost on Nevitt to Sardis in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
Surely Chera is not out.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't think he will be, but the fact that they gave him a week in the first place doesn't fill me with confidence.
It's
They're
pretty
just like,
soft, isn't it?
I mean, they gave like it's been all year. They gave Jackson Archer 3 weeks for like he should have got a free kick for contact below the knees. Like
Yeah.
it's just like they're onto this protect the head bullshit. I think the really good thing is Bo's played out the rest of the game, didn't come concussed or anything. So like the fact that he got a week is just mental to me. But you know, I guess
He
we'll have to see.
literally, he literally goes to push him and gets him
Yeah.
high.
And the example I used in a group chat today, 2 weeks ago, Jared Berry did that soft tag on Dacos, and he pushed Dacos off the ball about 3 minutes straight, just non-stop pushing. If Dacos went to push forward like Bose did, we could have had another situation where Berry gets Dacos high and Dacos flops like Bose, and it could be a week for Berry. It's such an unlucky situation, and I think he's going to argue it wasn't intentional, low impact. Like it's just you can't get a week for that. No way we're at this point where you get a week for like it's what midfielders do at stoppages to get space on their opponent.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm baffled. Baffled. We have been going for an hour and a half, so we are just going to get through these as quick as possible. I'm going to ask you boys questions. Where on earth is the question? Right. Luke Pappas says, well, this is just a shout out to him. 776 rank. He's spewing that he traded Humphrey instead of Trainer. Still almost scored as high as Joshy. Jason Vong, Verns, this is to you, mate. Ashcroft and Layla to Rankin and McDonald.
I wouldn't go McDonald personally, but I'd tick off the Rankin plus a rookie.
Perfect. Joshy, when to trade rookies like Ashcroft and Zach Reed, they still have money to make, but getting rookies off the field.
Yeah, I think getting rookies off the field is the main priority. And yes, they have cash to make, but I think it's very minimal at this point. It's only like an extra 20, 30K. And I think the points gain getting a primo in field is just too valuable.
And on top of that, if they're making 20 to 30K, if you go to a full and premium, they could make 20 to 30K. So
Yeah,
you're not even
absolutely.
losing the money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Suarez says Chera straight swap with Rosie, then swing it to Def, or Dunkley straight swap or downgrade and then get Neil for Chera. What are we doing
Old
here, Verns?
Chera.
Yeah, we're
Perfect.
straight holding Chera.
Yep. Jerv says pick one to bring in out of Rosie, Dunkley, and Newcomb. I'm thinking Rosie by a country mile. And Joshy's, oh my God. Are we choosing Rosie, Dunkley, or Newcomb?
Rosie.
Rosie, yeah, Newcomb's a tough one. Verns, Trainer and Layla to Bont and a Rook with 70K or Warner and a Rook with 290K.
We just had a massive discussion about this.
We
We're
did.
obviously gonna do the cheaper
Rewind.
premium plus a rookie. So Warner and
Perfect.
rookie. That's what you want.
Joshy, Warner, Huswaite out, Murphy, Reed, and Warner, Huswaite in, out, Murphy, Reed, and Curtin. Will you tick off on that?
Yeah, go for it.
Aqua says that he believes gamble responsibly. Sportsbet doesn't have odds on the Netty Long Brownlow. Absolutely. Oh, you got me there, Mr. Mo, Mr. Lester. Very good. Very good. Gerbs, head to the website, mate. They are sick and they are actually, oh, God, wrong side. Sorry. Look, it's so nice and warm and the quality is actually decent. These boys, theirs ones are in the mail, but I'm fairly sure they should be up on the website. If not, the merch will be coming soon. I'm going to answer this. No, Humphrey can piss off. And once he pisses off, he can piss off even more. Thinking of bringing in Rankin and Bustlinger / McDonald for Lashcroft and Reed / Stone / Cleary. I have no one to trade. Who do I pick for those options or just hold off on a week? Wow, there's a lot going on in that.
Well, I don't think you're trading Stone after his game.
No, just go Lashcroft and Reed to Rankin and Bust. Simple. Ned says, thoughts on Cripps or Jordan Clark? Joshy, I assume you're going Clark, yes?
Yep.
Awesome. Is it wrong to not make any trades this week?
No.
Nah.
Why is no one talking about Libba?
Oh man, it's a great question. Honestly, Libet has been insane this year. It's really just the Bont and Trelaw coming back, sort of the same thing with Kennedy, where there's just a little bit of question marks going into the future if he can sustain this. And I don't know if you guys owned Libba last year, but personally, he burnt me, so it's hard to look at him.
Yep, perfect. Dalek says, if I won't track like you guys suggested, who would I trade out? Sanders, Lashcroft. I'd go Sanders. Yep.
Yeah.
Sanders.
Joshy, Chera to Rosie, track LDU or one down and Chera to Neil?
No, neither. Keep Chera.
Very good. Initiator says Kako ain't doing that. Well, we shall see, mate. He could, in reference to me saying that he's going to have 20 and kick 5. That would be fantastic. Aqua just wants a single game out of Neil Erasmus. Yeah, you're going to be waiting, mate. Foot, who to pick out of Wanganeen, Malira, and Sinclair in defense? Which one?
Oh, I feel comfortable with Sinclair.
Sinclair, Joshy?
Yep, Sinclair.
Perfect. Nick Dacos Glaze 69, love the name, by the way. Lashcroft and Pryor to track a McDonald. Do you take McDonald in that instance?
Probably a different rook.
Works in DPP, sure.
Yeah.
You can't bring McDonald in.
I agree. Danny Green says, would a dead Campo to Flynn this week be okay? I know a week late, but I just couldn't last week. Jeez, that's some cash in the bank. I probably just missed.
Yeah. I reckon I'd do that, honestly. Like,
yep.
I don't know. If you don't have anything else going on in your team, I mean, you should probably be able to make an upgrade. But if you, for some reason, you can't, like, yeah, I'm all for this.
It would leave him 21 trades, but only fielding 2 rookies and Campo, his last dead rookie. Josh, are you doing this?
I'd do that, definitely. I mean, Flynn still has a minus 60-something break-even, I think it is. Minus 45 break-even.
Yep.
A score of 95 makes him another 60K, and he's coming off back-to-back hundreds.
Wonderful. Tony J says, great chat. If I go trainer, Ashcroft and Layla out, he can get Husty, Rosie, and Bowie this week. Only leaves him 16K, but wow, the team looks good. Would we tick off on that? Is that tick off a ball?
I'll tick that off.
Yep. Clark or track? I'm going Clark.
I'm going to go track.
Yeah, track for the price.
Yeah, understood. Syed, shout out to you, mate. Thinking of trading Chera if for some reason he doesn't get off. He's already got 7 promos on 12 buys on the 12th buy, so a good chance to get one out of there. If he doesn't get off, do you hold Chera or not?
Hold him.
I still think he should be holding. Yeah.
Right. Should I do Lindsay for Huswaite and Ashcroft for Chad Warner? Lindsay on my bench at the moment. That is a no proficient from me. Boys, yes or no?
No. I think I said this earlier. Like, Ashcroft could honestly outscore Chad this week, like, let alone make more money. Like,
And we're talking about how dead these rookies are. Lindsay has a 1 break even. Just do not trade him at all costs.
Campbell Holtham says, who to trade, Lashcroft or Zach Reed? I would go...
Zach Reed.
Yeah, Zach Reed. I agree. We want to know what's wrong with McDonald. We've covered that. Joshy, you gave a great summary earlier on, so just rewind that. Aqua says Short or Levi Ashcroft out the door this week. Doesn't matter. Literally just go whoever's got the higher break even out of Short or Levi Ashcroft if you're selling the one next week. Isn't Jackson cooked? No, he's coming back. Thoughts on TikTok Eggsy Todd getting 2-7-10 fair score? That's for sure. Finished third for the week. Mate, you've literally just put like over 200 on me, so you're doing like I can't comment on that. Here's a test for this week. Great response. This is our last one. We are going to wrap up. We are sorry. No more comments. You know where to find us again. Sonny Abraham says, hey guys, why are you so keen to hold Cherry? If he gets 1 week due to suspension and or is injured, could he be out more than 1 week? He's not injured. He came back on, so I'm fairly sure the consensus is that he's okay. And like for the game, surely he doesn't get the suspension. And Carlton have got the best lawyers in the ground in like the league. Cripps genuinely won a Brownlow from it. Surely he's not getting suspended.
Let's say hypothetically he does. We're still not moving him on. It's 1 week. He's performing great for the price that we've had him at. And we should be focusing on just getting rookie upgrades, because if you're moving Chera to somebody, that means you're probably not upgrading a rookie to a premium. So I'll prefer just to hold Chera for now.
Absolutely. Joshy, what's your reasoning?
I agree. As you said, he's not injured. He came back on. If he doesn't get off, hypothetically, I think you just hold him to that round 12 bye. You upgrade around him. This is a guy that has a low score of 81 all season. Mm-hmm. He's been awesome. I think he's worth the hold.
I agree. I completely agree. That's it. We're done. To the 101 people still watching and everybody that's listening to us, thank you so much for joining in Rage Trade Mondays. Joshy and I will be back on Thursday for Team Drop Thursdays. Gentlemen, we are done. It's been an hour and 40. Consensus is hold Chera. Where can everyone find you on the socials? Verns.
Yeah, you can find me at Verns_SC Hub on X and also just at Verns YouTube on YouTube.
Perfect. Joshy, where can everybody find you, mate?
Just JG232_.
Perfect. You can find me at Scobie__ on X. Have a great evening, everyone, and you better all be back here Thursday evening for Team Drop Thursdays. Thanks for joining in. We'll see you soon. Don't forget to check out the SuperCoach Store Play website and also the Third Man Up, also on X. They do mountains of work. Rookie Dump, VC options, C options. Check them all out. Like and subscribe. We'll be back soon. Have a fantastic evening and goodbye for now.